What's up, good people? Welcome to the exchange episode. Actually, I'm not even sure what episode this is. I've been shooting these a little bit out of turn. It is past the holidays now. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. That's the first thing. We're picking up a new exchange today. Episode, whatever it is over here. First of all, our weapon of choice is a little bit different today. E55 AMG. I just watched this thing probably 3 days ago, but the weather in Maryland, as you know, is wild and crazy. It's been raining, it's been snowing, it's been doing all the things. So, she's a little bit dirty. Sorry, G-Day. That loud though. Oh yeah. I definitely thought it apropos to pick up the quietest car we're probably ever going to review on this channel with the loudest car. Just a couple specs on the E55. It is a 2003 E55 AMG. This is a supercharged vehicle. So factory specs are a little over 400 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque, automatic, obviously, because AMG. My car is somewhat modified. It's got bigger injectors, bigger fuel pump, a fixed pulley instead of the clutched pulley, headers, no restrictions in the exhaust whatsoever. Gone are the catalytic converters, gone are the stock mufflers, gone are the stock resonators. It is essentially straight piped. It's got two vibrant mufflers on it, but those aren't very restrictive. They just kind of deepen the tone a little bit, keep it from being so tinny and raspy. But yeah, I mean, the car makes good power. This isn't a review of my E55. However, since we're headed over there, and I think this is just a good comparison for the car we're picking up, I'll tell you why E55. So I am a huge German car fan, but in my past I've had Audis, I've had BMWs, I've had pretty much the gamut of all of them. The E55 was always on my list, although I daily drive all the cars that I own. The E55 is one that I wanted to pick up as like the ultimate daily. You look at it from the outside and it basically looks like any older E-Class, but obviously it's got the V8 in it and it's supercharged and it takes very, very well to modifications. Typically when you pick up these German luxury cars, you can make good power with them, but you're going to spend quite a bit of money, and reliability is something that kind of suffers. The M113 engine is one that's basically bulletproof. It's kind of like their version of the LS. It takes well to power. It's nice that it's supercharged from the factory, so the internals are pretty strong. These cars easily make 700 horsepower. But yeah, it's a great cruiser. I can give it to my wife and she can drive it. It's not a problem. I can get in it and have fun. Obviously, as a car guy, one of my criteria for any car I pick up is usually, can I have fun in it? And this will put a smile on your face every time you get in it. Just as you saw, just starting it up is a whole sequence. It makes all the right noises. Let me put the windows up, and as you hear, once you put the windows up, it's basically quiet in here. Although it's making a ruckus and it's pretty loud outside, you can cruise the car and not even tell that it's really modified. But when you want to party, spinning in third and fourth gear. Yeah, I mean, it's a different animal. I love this car because it does everything well. It's no expert at one thing, but you know, it's comfortable, it's a joy to drive, it's got the speed to handle most things on the road, and they're fairly reliable. I mean, I beat the crap out of all my cars, and this thing is just like, okay, that's fine. So what do you want to do next? I like a car that's rewarding you for foolishness, and this does that in spades, certainly. Maybe I'll do a full review on all the cars in my fleet one day, and kind of talk about every single one and why I like them, why I bought them, so on and so forth. But this is a great juxtaposition for the car we're picking up. We're picking up a Model X. My E55 and the Tesla have a running through line, which is that you basically pick them up because you want the ultimate luxury. just want something that's comfortable to be in, something you can just point and shoot, go where you're going, put your entire family in, and get where you're going, point A to point B, just in luxury and style. And for a long time, Mercedes, I mean, obviously this is an older Mercedes, even the older ones had technology in them that rival stuff of today. This has got heated and cooled seats, it's got keyless go, it's got push start, it's got a lot of amenities that are just now becoming standard for your average car. And the Tesla is much the same. They're ahead of the game as far as technology is concerned. You pick up a Tesla, you know you're in something special. That's what we're going to find out today. We're going to find out what makes the Tesla a little bit special. Besides it being all electric, what makes the Tesla a Tesla? Actually, he just had a baby, so probably shouldn't be trying to full tilt this car. Let's see. Let's try to be as quiet as we can. Pulling up on my mains. Pandemic is still real, so let's put our mask on. And here we go. Hello, sir. What's going on? I'm well. This beautiful thing, huh? I come bearing some gifts.
What is that?
Just, some holiday winery.
Thanks.
So, a Tesla Model X, huh?
Yep.
Okay, let's, you want to step out here and tell us a little bit about it? Obviously a great family vehicle. You're a family man. Just had a new kid. Congratulations again.
Oh, thanks.
Doing this in the pandemic, not ideal, but the show must go on. We will stay 6 feet apart, obviously, to do this. But okay, why the Model X? Why did you pick one of these things up?
I mean, pretty much I had the model, the regular S before,
Mm-hmm.
but then with kids,
Yeah.
you needed something.
You needed the space.
More spacious and things like that. Also not too low,
Right.
Lower level. So that's the reason why I switched to the X.
Mm-hmm. Why did you even pick a Tesla in the first place? He's not really a car guy. He's more of a technology kind of guy. Obviously, he picked up a Tesla. But what is your car history? Just what did you have before? Why did you end up going with a Tesla?
Regular Toyotas and things like that. But I mean, the efficiency of the car, like not being able to take the car for maintenance,
Yeah.
things like that, no gas. As you can see, just charge.
You just plug it up at night. That's
I can
it.
drive as much as I
Yeah.
want to. And then again, people say, of course, they down stuff to buy. It's expensive, but if you calculate everything with regular maintenance and things like that, it adds up.
Yeah.
So I don't need no maintenance.
Right.
It's just empty space to push stuff.
So it's got
This is the
a
great
frunk and a trunk.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
space in the front, space in the trunk as well. Obviously because it has no engine.
No trunk.
So it's just batteries and a electric motor. You have a dual motor. So you've got one in the back, one in the front, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And the battery is just flat
On the ground.
on the base.
Yeah.
That's basically what.
Dude, this thing is just super cool. I mean, obviously I've read about them. I've seen them before. I've just never had the opportunity to really test one out, see what it's doing. So first of all, thank you for doing this in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of having a child. I'm like, hey, could you do this? He's like, yeah, sure. Let's fix a date and make it happen. So we appreciate you letting us do that. Okay, so I brought the E55. Obviously, he's not probably gonna drive it because not a car guy, could care less. But also working from home, he's got a kid, has got 2 kids, a new baby. But I just brought it anyways, obviously to wake up your entire neighborhood. Hopefully, when I come back to switch over, the kid is not asleep because it's gonna wake him up 100%.
They're up now for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's think first.
Should I back up?
Yeah, you should probably back up.
Back up all the way.
So that I can pull it out.
Okay. All right. So he's pulled it out for us. I guess it's time to exchange keys. Let's trade off keys. I'll take that off your hands. We've got some Tesla keys. It's time. Okay. Wish me luck here. Cool. Look at this thing. All right, so we are in a Tesla. And what's crazy about this car is when you want to start the car, you just put your foot on the brake and you put it in drive and it's ready to go. That's insane. That is insane. There is so much to unpack with this thing. I don't know how to film it for you guys. I'm literally flabbergasted by this entire thing. As you can see from our in-dash, the car is literally monitoring the entire road for us. It's looking at everything. It can see the lanes. It can even see the cars coming up, which is nuts crazy. Technology-wise, I am speechless. Let me set this camera up real quick. We are in a Model X, which is so strange and different, yet familiar. Right away, obviously, everything in here screams technology. I mean, I'm gonna try to rattle off some of the things that I feel and see right off the bat. Heated and cooled seats, steering wheels heated and cooled as well. I feel warm, it's nice and toasty in my hands. All the ergonomics feel really, really nice. This wood is real wood, and nobody has to tell you it's real wood because it feels like it. It looks and feels really, really nice. You know, the big tablet looking screen down here is very sexy, innovative, and cool. It's intuitive. Literally, you press anything on this screen and it does it immediately. You can pull up our suspension. I can look at my driving. If I want a chill driving style, if I want the steering wheel to be a little more comfort, standard braking, stopping mode, creep, roll, hold, you're not waiting 1 second for it to load. The proprietary screen can go through every single thing: navigation, lights, driving modes, autopilot, safety, service. Everything is here. It's like a giant iPhone. It's intuitive, sleek, it's packaged well. If you've never used an iPhone and somebody hands one to you, you still can figure it out fairly quickly. I've never met anybody that's using an iPhone for the first time and is just like so perplexed by it. And this is kind of how Teslas are. They are new, exciting technology, so it may seem somewhat intimidating the first time you hear, oh my gosh, you don't even have to start the car, the doors open by themselves, so on and so forth. But as you get in it and you start to use these things, it feels natural. It feels easy to use, which is something that other car companies don't do well. Anybody that ever buys a Tesla has no problems walking you through most of the cool quirks and features of it. Shout out to Doug DeMiro. The strangest thing about the car is it's silent. It is literally dead silent in here. You just hear tire noise and wind noise. That's it. Which is a far cry from what we drove over there. We drove the loudest, most obnoxious thing to him, and he in turn gave us the quietest car I've ever driven. The most silent by a long shot. So I've put autonomous driving mode on. So to engage autopilot, 2 pushes of that, autopilot is engaged. And currently it's asking me to keep my hands on the wheel, but I literally am not doing anything. My foot's off. My hand is literally just kind of on the wheel, just so it knows that I'm still around, but it's driving itself. It doesn't need me whatsoever. I can do this review with full confidence that the car knows what it's doing. It's gonna take me where we're going. And in fact, if you set GPS coordinates to where you're trying to go and tell the car to put itself in autonomous driving mode, as long as the road's been mapped out, it will take you there. So the car at this point is driving itself completely. Doesn't need my help. You know, every so often you have to put your hand on the wheel so she knows you're there. But other than that, doesn't need our help. Obviously, if you want to go faster, you toggle the switch up. If you want to go slower, you toggle it down. It is monitoring everything in front of us. It's monitoring everything beside us. It's watching brake lights. You know, it'll come up to speed when it needs to. It'll slow down when it needs to. It's slowing down now. My feet are nowhere. And it's doing this with the assistance of the radar guided cruise control. It's using the cameras that are all around the vehicle. It's using all the sensors that have existed over the years to other manufacturers. Everybody's slowing down in front of us. Will it come to a stop? This is somewhat scary. Will it come to a stop? I mean, I am close enough that I can stop the car if need be, but it is ahead of us. Yep. Oh yeah, it's coming to a stop. It came to a it came to a stop. I gotta admit, that is scary. That is scary. But the technology is here. You gotta trust the process. What does it do if you want to turn and there's no space? Once you indicate that you want to make the turn, the car is looking for the appropriate time to turn into that lane. So it's gonna be monitoring traffic on the other side to see when we have an opening to get in there. And when it sees an appropriate, then it goes in, which is pretty amazing. So let's talk a little bit about ergonomics, how this car is worked out. They've improved technology that already exists. So if you've ever driven a late model S-Class, if you've ever driven an Audi A8, you know, Bentley, those kinds of cars, you're kind of used to some of this technology, you know, heated and cooled seats, folding mirror, the doors being able to be closed by pushing the button and so forth. That's something that exists. The thing they figured out is how to package this in a way that's appealing to non-car people and car people alike. G-Day isn't a car guy, but he wanted something luxurious. This would be a guy who, at this stage in his life, he's got a family. You'd be looking at either picking up a statement piece like an S-Class, you know, but that's not super ideal for a large family. You know, as your family expands, you need more space. Or picking up some sort of minivan, which is not very sexy. This is a nice bridge gap vehicle. You've picked up a car that technology-wise supersedes the competition and does it in a sleek package that's got room and the show factor as well. You know, you pick up an S-Class because you like Mercedes, you like, you know, the pomp and circumstance that comes with driving a Mercedes around. You pick up a Audi for the same reason, you know, a Rolls Royce, Bentley, what have you. Part of it is that you want people to know, I have arrived, right? This does that really, really well. This is an I have arrived car that you show up in and everybody's like, oh, cool, Tesla. You know what I mean? You can't get more trick and fancy than pulling up, and even the doors opening up is a show. Each individual door can be opened from the infotainment screen. It can also be opened, obviously, by the remotes, but just in sitting in the vehicle, every single door, front, back, side to side, everything can be controlled from that infotainment screen. As you can see, it's just a little touch of luxury that makes you know that you're in something special, makes you know that this car is a little bit different than the rest. The gull-wing doors in the rear, completely excessive and unnecessary, but again, that's the level that Tesla's trying to bring you into. You didn't need to have gull-wing doors back there, but it's there just to make sure you know the thing is kind of special. And that's a nice little touch. Overall design of the Model X is maybe striking might be the word. You know, all the Teslas have a design language, that is for sure. All the headlights kind of look the same, all the front grills kind of look the same, the taillights and so on. But it's not particularly beautiful, I don't think. Although, you know, we're talking about a segment, you know, minivans and crossovers that aren't particularly beautiful vehicles by nature. So, you know, Tesla has their own lane and they stay in it. I suppose this was a function over form kind of design. So mission accomplished, I suppose. It works for its intended purpose. But again, this is a car where, as I'm driving it, I am experiencing the world driving feel a little bit differently now. I can tell that this would be something my wife would absolutely love. My dad would absolutely love this. My My wife and my dad like the luxury cars that I pick up, but they don't enjoy how loud everything I own is. Model X is quick enough to scoot around town and keep me entertained in that way, but quiet enough that having them in here, they're gonna be happy campers. They're gonna enjoy themselves. There are a bunch of small innovations that make this Model X feel special. Things like the doors that open when you're approaching it. Fantastic. It's a small, very small thing, but that is something you come to appreciate being a Model X owner, that other people, other peasants, obviously, that make you feel like, I have something cool and special. You know, the other peasants, their doors don't open on their own. Is it necessary for a door to open on its own as you approach? Obviously not. You have hands, you can open the door, but it's nice to have in a luxury car, and something where you're paying 80, 90, 100 grand for. It's nice to have Jeeves open the door for you and know you're coming. Like you're approaching, opens the door. Okay? Yes, sir. Get in here. It's great. No keys in hand. I approach the vehicle. It knows I'm here. It opens the door. I can step in. Close the door. Don't close the door. Walk away. I've left, so it closes the door. Shortly thereafter, it folds the mirrors and locks everything up. And you'll see the mirrors. There you go. Obviously, luxury is about a little bit of excess. It's also about a little bit of being intuitive. Be ahead of me. Do the things that I need you to do before I ask you to do them. Having a good assistant is like that. You put them to task, you tell them what you want done, and they get ahead of it, so you don't have to deal with the small things. And this does a really, really good job of it. Just like as you're driving around, it's monitoring the road and telling you, hey, look, it's supposed to be 30 miles an hour here. If you want to go faster, I guess that's up to you, but it's supposed to be 30 miles an hour. That's clearly displayed right up here, up top. You don't have to guess about it. You don't have to see the posted signage. It'll do that. It'll tell you how close you are to the curbs, how close you are to the next car beside you as you're driving. And it's not doing it in some sort of intrusive way. It's laid out really, really well. Being a guy that loves the internal combustion engine, loves the sights and sounds, you miss not hearing anything. It's very eerie in here, especially without music or anything like that. Part of what makes my car that I dropped off, the E55, feel fast is that it sounds like it is. It's lowered, it's hunkered down. It may not be the fastest thing in the world, but it sounds like it is. And so as you're in the car and you hear the sounds, it also tricks your mind into thinking, man, we're going a million miles an hour. This is quite different than that. Because you don't hear anything, it's like this eerie feeling. And when you step, all you feel is that like pushback. You can see my head tilt back every time I give it a little bit of gas here. It's just got so much instantaneous torque when I put my foot down that it makes it you have no choice but to lunge back. And it does it so silently. It's not making any noise. You know, you feel like 007 in this car. You feel like James Bond because of all the gadgets and the gizmos and the car's thinking for you. You definitely feel like the future is here. What are my takeaways? Is there anything that's surprising about this vehicle? A Swiss Army knife that's pretty much good at everything, innovative, something different, and it's all that. I think the experience of driving one of these isn't one that you should just poo-poo because, oh, well, it's a Tesla and it's an electric vehicle. As a car person, I think there's something to be liked. There's something to be appreciated about it. If you ever get a chance to drive one of these, especially a dual motor one, I think you'll be quite impressed with how quick they are, how responsive they are. There's a little bit to be desired as far as the driving feel of it. It's not a driver's vehicle, but if you like luxury, if you'd like something a little bit special, this is definitely that. It is so special. It makes you feel like $1 million because of all the technology around it. And it's pretty amazing. So I just got here and Mr. G-Day is not around. So he let me borrow his Tesla for the review. Said before, he's a father again, and I believe he just had to take his son to a doctor's appointment. So he left my car, didn't even drive it. Not a car guy, like I said. And we'd like to thank him very much. Definitely so much fun to drive this thing, to experience it, to exchange for this thing. Thank you, sir. It was awesome. As always, thank you guys for watching and staying tuned. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know how you like this one in the comment section. I'll see you soon. You're amazed something as silly as this. What? These guys have figured it all out. It's a magnet. Will it stop on its own? Yeah, it will. It's got radar guided cruise control. This thing is so cool.